The alarm clock screamed at 5:47 a.m., but Marcus Chen had already been awake for 20 minutes, staring at the ceiling of his cramped studio apartment. Outside, the city hummed with the promise of another day, but inside, Marcus felt the familiar weight of mediocrity pressing down on his chest. At 28, he was just another face in the corporate machine, earning barely enough to cover rent and instant noodles. But today was different. Today, Marcus had made a decision that would change everything. 3 months earlier, Marcus had attended his high school reunion, where he watched former classmates share stories of business empires, exotic travels, and dreams turned into reality. Meanwhile, he had mumbled something about finding his path, while nursing his third beer. That night, driving home in his beat-up Honda, Marcus made a promise to himself: success isn't about where you start, it's about where you're willing to go. The first step came when Marcus discovered the power of deliberate learning. Instead of scrolling through social media during his lunch breaks, he began consuming books, podcasts, and courses about entrepreneurship. He learned that Warren Buffett once said, "The most important investment you can make is in yourself." Marcus took this to heart, spending his evenings at the library, filling notebook after notebook with ideas, strategies, and business plans. Within weeks, Marcus noticed something shifting in his mind. The fog of complacency was lifting, replaced by clarity and purpose. He began to see opportunities where others saw obstacles. When his company announced budget cuts, while his colleagues complained, Marcus saw a chance to prove his value by proposing cost-saving innovations. The second step required Marcus to confront his greatest enemy, himself. He realized that his biggest limitation wasn't his circumstances, but his beliefs. "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right," Henry Ford had once observed, and Marcus felt the truth of those words in his bones. He began challenging every limiting thought, every excuse, every reason why he couldn't succeed. Marcus started a simple practice. Every morning, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for and 3 goals he would accomplish that day. No goal was too small. Some days it was research market trends for 2 hours. Other days it was network with 5 new people on LinkedIn. The key was consistency, building momentum one small victory at a time. The third step nearly broke him. Marcus realized that success required sacrifice, and he wasn't prepared for how much he'd have to give up. Friends stopped calling when he declined their invitations to go out. His girlfriend left, claiming he had become obsessed with his goals. Evenings once spent watching Netflix were now devoted to building his side business, a digital marketing consultancy he had started from his kitchen table. But Marcus remembered what motivational speaker Jim Rohn had said: success is something you attract by the person you become. Every sacrifice was an investment in the person he was becoming. When doubt crept in during those lonely nights, Marcus would remind himself that the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. The fourth step tested Marcus's resolve like nothing before. His first business venture failed spectacularly. After 6 months of work, his biggest client pulled out, leaving him with $3,000 in debt and shattered confidence. He spent a week in despair, questioning everything he had believed about his potential. But failure, Marcus discovered, was not the opposite of success, it was a stepping stone toward it. As Thomas Edison had famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Marcus analyzed every mistake, every wrong turn, every missed opportunity. He reached out to mentors, joined entrepreneur groups, and learned from others who had walked this path before him. The breakthrough came when Marcus pivoted his approach. Instead of trying to serve everyone, he specialized in helping small restaurants build their online presence. His previous failures had taught him exactly what businesses needed most. Within 3 months, he had 5 steady clients. Within 6 months, he had hired his first employee. The fifth and final step was the most transformative. Marcus learned that true success wasn't just about personal achievement, it was about lifting others as you climb. He began mentoring young entrepreneurs, sharing his failures as openly as his successes. He discovered that success is not just about what you accomplish in your life, it's about what you inspire others to do, as Charlie Chaplin had wisely noted. 2 years after that pivotal morning in his studio apartment, Marcus stood before a packed auditorium, sharing his story with aspiring entrepreneurs. His digital marketing agency now employed 15 people and generated 7 figures in annual revenue. But more importantly, he had become the person he always knew he could be. The journey from average to fortune hadn't been about luck or talent, it had been about transformation. Marcus had learned that success leaves clues, and those clues were available to anyone willing to seek them out. The 5 steps weren't secrets, they were choices available to everyone: commit to continuous learning, overcome limiting beliefs, embrace necessary sacrifices, learn from failures, and lift others along the way. As Marcus concluded his speech that evening, he looked out at the faces in the audience, some hopeful, others skeptical, all searching for their own path to success. He smiled, remembering his own journey from that cramped apartment to this moment, and left them with one final thought: the difference between successful people and everyone else isn't talent or luck, it's the willingness to do what others won't.